Next, I'm going to jump on to, I think this is quite topical, and it's how to stop your career plateauing. So I think a lot of people resonate with this, that they go through their career and often starts quite well. And people can leave school at 16, they can go to university, they can be a lifelong learner. There's lots of kind of different stuff that you do. But essentially, if you kind of plot it out, you start here. And what did I do as the axis? I'm going to say money, but actually it doesn't really matter what that is. And then time. We all kind of start well, hopefully, as in we all arguably finish school at 16 in the UK at the same time. And some people leave there and then their career kind of plateaus at some point, and that could be by choice, it could be to do with family, it could be whichever. Other people might, accelerate their career a bit more, maybe go to university or become a chartered accountant or whichever, and actually, but at some point people's careers tend to plateau. And the question is, how do you actually help it so that your career, if you want it to, can keep going up? And how do you actually tackle that issue that a lot of people struggle with? Good morning. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name, but I completely agree. If you want to sell toys and make millions, how can you do that? There's lots of different ways that almost it could be, how can you outcompete with Amazon? And there's lots of really cool stuff to do. But I really genuinely appreciate the comment on YouTube as well. And actually, I'd love to know more about the business. Where are you based? And then what we can do, we'll do it live on the stream, is actually ways that we can think through how to help you create the business to actually help you make millions selling toys. And actually we'll do it live now, which is quite cool, but I'll just kind of finish this one. But basically the question is, how do you stop your career plateauing? And actually, how do you get fulfillment and stuff from your life that you're really kind of happy? Basically, the first one for me is life choices. I think people often wonder, we all look at the multimillionaires or the billionaires and think, well, actually, I'd love to do that. I would love to be worth $5 billion. But often you have to be willing to make the sacrifice and the life choices to actually put in the time and effort and the graft to create the brand and the sleepless nights and the business and the selling and that kind of thing as well. That's a really important issue that a lot of people whose lives, in their own opinion, maybe have leveled off a bit. To really look at the choices that they make and how much time do they put into things like personal development and things to really kind of help them, grow. Next, after that, people that you see that really grow to the top have great drive and determination. Philip Stanyan is one of them. That basically, when you have a business and you have setbacks and stuff, it's always easy to give up when you are challenged or when things happen. But actually just being willing to keep battling on when you get criticized, to actually have a passion and a real feel for what you want to do, you have that. But next, what you really need is the skills. So for instance, if you are the world's best coder, you could make an absolute fortune in San Francisco or Silicon Valley or anywhere in the world, creating apps and creating value from nothing. But the important thing is to create the next Facebook or whichever. You need the skills to be able to do that. That actually, if you have crazy ambitions to, be the next Elon Musk. Elon Musk did not get to be who he is without solid fundamentals of knowledge on certain key topics. And actually, it's really important that your life decisions really do impact maybe committing the time to learn new stuff, to learn how to live stream, to learn how to do business strategy stuff or whatever. That actually it's how then you do that. And then the last but not least, it's actually just having the ambition to do it. I'm quite open that I'm pushing this as hard as I can, and I do want to grow this to be an international business in every country in the world. But actually, if you aim small, if you aim to create a business that might survive in its first year and maybe do quite well in your own town or city, that's great, but you're not going to, get discovered in San Francisco or Japan or China unless you really kind of put in place the fundamental things to access and broadcast to a lot of people. And that's where you need to basically do this kind of level. So, how to, in theory, stop your career plateauing. This is true at every level. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be You know, you've done well in your career, you've got to a certain point, and you might feel like you've been going along at the same trajectory for maybe 5 years and your career's kind of slowed down. Basically, if you actually invest time in your skills and your ambitions, you actually change your mind about what is it that you want to do, even at this point in your career, you can still make a massive change. You can decide to make the change to really help, you know, fund that next part of your career. It could be to go for a new job. It could be to launch a business. It could be anything you want, to be honest. But the point is, you kind of need the ambition to do it. You need the skills to be able to kind of, you know, implement to launch the business or to step up in your career to operate at a higher level. But actually, often that does come down to the life choices to actually allocate an hour a week to work on personal development or whichever. And it's that kind of thing that we all go through our careers and at some point feel that it's plateaued. But the point is, it's to make the decision to make a change and then actually start to execute those behaviors, put the time, put the effort in, create stuff, share it with the world. And then, you know, it might still not work, but at least you'll know you've kind of tried. And then often you can pivot and change and do stuff as well, which is quite cool. And it was an interesting topic I wanted to talk about, but I appreciate the comments. Yeah, Philip's exactly correct. Or get up, dress up, turn up, and get on. It's true. You know, there are days when you're struggling, but actually, it's just worth kind of battling on. And I even watched an interview with Eddie Hearn, who's the boxing promoter, yesterday. It was the Diary of a CEO podcast. And one of the things he got from his dad was that if you have just a mountain of stuff to tackle, just get up an hour earlier and just crack on with it and almost just, you know, execute is the really important thing. That often people that try hard, they're good intentioned and they work hard will be successful. So I just wanted to kind of talk about it.